Most of what you own, your phone, your clothes, and even your coffee, crossed an ocean to get to you. And in those oceans, whales are vanishing fast. The same shipping routes that bring you everything from grain to cars to airplane parts are driving the North Atlantic right whale toward extinction. That's because ship collisions are the #1 killer of whales. Now, scientists at Rutgers University are using AI and underwater robots that listen for whale calls to predict where the whales will go next so ships can steer clear. But here's the catch. For cargo ships, time is money. Slowing down for right whales could cost commercial shipping vessels up to $29 million annually, and that cost might ultimately be passed down to us, the consumers. So, could AI really help save the whales? And does saving the whales mean slower shipping times and higher prices for you and me? Yeah! Let's find out.
So this is an old Coast Guard lifeboat station. In the 1970s, it was donated to Rutgers University for serving the purpose as a research field station. We run a lot of different types of research out of this building.
This is Dr. Josh Kohut, Dean of Research at Rutgers School of Environmental and Biological Sciences.
Wow, it really is beautiful out here. It's incredible out here.
And today, he's taking us out to sea to launch an underwater robot, also known as a glider. And this glider collects tons of data for AI, but we'll get back to that in a moment.
The ocean is so dynamic, there's so much complicated things going on, and we just need to have more observations of what's happening out there. And it's with tools like this that's changing the way we can look at the ocean. And so this robot is actually designed to spend months to even years out in the ocean, collecting data for us, completely on its own. It actually powers itself forward based on its buoyancy. So at the surface, it actually pulls in a little bit of seawater, which makes it relatively heavy, and so it'll sink. It has these wings, so it can literally glide as it goes down. And that glide gives it forward motion. When it gets down near the bottom, push that seawater out, now it's light. And so it's gonna rise towards the surface. The only time that the glider is using power to move through the ocean is at those inflection points, right? So as it's gliding, it's just coasting like you would on a bicycle, going down a hill. You don't have to pedal. Ready?
All right, here we go. Yeah!
It doesn't have to put energy there, so it can put its energy to the sensors. And it literally calls us. I get a text message on my phone. Glider says, I'm here, and here's the data I just collected since the last phone call. So when it's out for months at a time, we're not waiting to get that data. We can get it in near real time.
All right, it should call in soon then, Dave.
Okay.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Doing well. How are you?
Mike.
I'm Joe.
Joe?
Nice to meet you.
Come on in.
Hey.
All of the gliders that we're deploying for this particular project are focused on measuring the physics of the ocean. So where is it warm? Where is it salty? Those kinds of things. But we also listen in the ocean. They talk, they sing as they're moving through our ocean environment, and we can listen for that here.
This is incredible.
Yeah.
Josh and teams like his all around the world have launched over 700 gliders into the ocean to collect data over the last 25 years. These gliders provide a huge amount of information to oceanographers to help paint a better picture of the underwater ecosystem. But sorting through this requires help, and that's where Aziz Izzat and his team come in.
I lead a research group where we develop machine learning and AI solutions to tackle environmental problems, energy problems, trying to develop models that make sense out of the tons of data that Josh and his colleagues collect from the oceans to make predictions about where these marine mammals appear and how can we best mitigate the risks of encountering them in the ocean.
Josh and Aziz have partnered to help save the North Atlantic right whales, all while preserving the shipping routes that the global economy relies on. Josh and his team collect tons of data using their underwater gliders, and Aziz helps to make sense of that data using AI models to organize it and even make its own scientific discoveries. The ultimate goal? To be able to predict where the right whales will go and share those predictions with captains on the water in real time.
And this is an example of what the data looks like coming back. These are all different measurements that the glider is making. Each map is a different species of whale, right? So what we do is give Aziz, this is where we heard the whales, And this is all the data that was happening in the ocean at the same time. Tell us what's going on. We use the AI model to help figure out which of these variables may or may not matter to a whale.
Amazing. So in the future, the dream is we have the map and then there's a predictive highway.
For example, if we
whales.
say, oh, whales like a spot in the ocean where it goes from warm to cold over a short distance, right? Then we can look at the maps and say, oh, well, here's where those places occur. Those might be higher risk for encountering a right whale.
An essential element to the project's success is using this technology to develop a model which is not only good for the whales, but at the same time good for business.
There's a really important driver here to think about how we can coexist with the whales and enables us to still do the important things that are done offshore. We are incredibly dependent on surface ocean commerce for many, many different aspects of our lives. That is a critical part of our livelihoods. The integration of AI allows us to be more strategic with our mitigation potentially, so that if a whale is detected, we won't have to say, oh, everywhere offshore, you better slow down, because the whale could be somewhere out there.
And I would argue that an AI-powered approach would actually help rather than harm. So if I know beforehand that this area is going to be possibly of high risk, then avoiding that area is actually better for your business as a shipping company. And this is where AI can help.
So a shipping company could plan ahead, right? And the test that we have is how far in advance? This is the question I'll ask Aziz all the time. Can you predict where the right whale's higher probability is tomorrow? What about next month? What about this season, right? So that's where the technology can go. So we don't want to be so prescriptive that we miss whales that should be protected, but we also don't want to be so broad that we're protecting parts of the ocean that don't need to be protected.
Yeah, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. No going off Greenland.
Exactly.
That's cool.
Exactly. Yep, that's a good way to think of it.
Already, there are mandatory and voluntary slow zones to help ships avoid whale strikes. But in shipping, every second counts. To find out how companies navigate this balance, we spoke to James Hotalan, Executive Vice President of Costco Shipping Lines, North America, one of the largest shipping companies in the world. What does compliance with these slow zones look like in practice?
We're provided with both voluntary and mandatory guidelines from NOAA, zones where our vessels need to reduce in some cases to 10 knots. You know, real terms, it's roughly 11.5 miles per hour. There is a cost. You know, looking at our Pacific routes, we lose about 3 to 5% of our time, but we take the environment extremely seriously. Really, it's not a one company initiative. It's an industry-wide initiative, and it should be viewed that way. The real hope, I guess, is to get real-time information that's available on various whale routes, ocean conditions, changes in water temperature, migration patterns. So if that information can be mapped, to be able to implement that on a real-time basis would be, extremely valuable.
AI might just be the critical tool to help the right whale and shipping companies to coexist. Using AI, we can make slow zones smaller and more targeted, as well as being planned out in advance. This could help save shipping companies time and money. And ironically, Josh and Aziz believe the key to this may be using the world's most advanced technology to unlock an ancient mystery.
When I talk about having us see the ocean the way the whales see the ocean, there's tremendous knowledge in the indigenous communities of the Pacific and the tools that they use to navigate from island to island way back in time before there was any GPS. And the cues that they're using to make navigation decisions could be the same ones that the whales are using. Can the AIs give us the roadmap? And then once you have the roadmap, you know that, like us, when we're crossing the road, we better look both ways because there could be traffic. Like, could we tell the traffic to slow down? Like a school zone. Can we make school zones in the ocean that are appropriate to protect the whales?
With so few right whales left in the world, time is of the essence. More accurate models of our oceans means faster shipping and more affordable goods, all while protecting wildlife and building a more sustainable world. With the help of AI, it might just be smooth sailing for shipping companies and our undersea friends. If you like this video and you want to see more like it, hit subscribe and we will see you in the next one.